Hey guys, T and I here. We got a chance to go see The Walk a little early, and you know what? Most of it was not very good. So The Walk, of course, is the new movie from Robert Zemeckis starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt about Philippe Petit, right?
Petit.
Petit?
Philippe Petit.
The Frenchman who walked across a high wire quite illegally between the two towers of the World Trade Center. Here's how the movie opened. Let me tell you this. The movie opened on a close-up of JGL, like this, right? Super smug, super smiley, and then he starts talking in his French accent, and I thought...
He doesn't naturally have a French accent, by the way.
No, he's from here. The movie proceeds to be largely a biography of Philippe Petit. It's more concerned with his background and the characters that he comes into contact with through this story and like why he wants to do it in the first place.
Right.
It's more concerned with that than it is the actual doing of the thing. Because the doing of the thing was covered quite well in the documentary Man on Wire that came out a handful of years ago, which was a super interesting documentary. So I don't know how you guys feel about spoilers. This is a true story that has been fairly well documented.
It's pretty goddamn well known.
So if you still want to go into this movie clean, get out of here. Now that being said, I would have been way more into like French clown guy goes Ocean's 11 and walks on a wire across the two like that dramatized. I would have been way into that.
And they did try to go for that. I feel like the movie had these weird sort of sections where the beginning was sort of like quirky biopic about, a French busker, doing tricks in the street in Paris or whatever. And it's a little bit more biographical. And then it turns into a heist movie of how he actually pulls off le coup, which is what he called this whole attempt to walk a high wire between the Twin Towers before they were fully open for business.
But I think the problem is the sort of alternating focus. It kind of made it half of one thing, half of another, not a whole thing unto itself. So the point is, the movie, I thought, was largely useless up until the point where he actually steps on the wire.
And at that point, I started sweating profusely.
Yes. From the time he steps out onto the wire, even the getting the wire up and going, and the building the tension of are they going to get caught, and the plan's not going according to plan, and none of that, I didn't care. None of that mattered. As soon as he stepped on the wire, though, from then on out, the whole process of his walk, Zemeckis did such a great job, I thought. Like, that part is honestly worth seeing it in IMAX 3D. Palms sweating. I was like tense. I turned to her at one point. I was like, I gotta go. Like, I can't handle this. There were parts I couldn't watch. Like, it was like I was watching a horror movie because it was so tense.
Without getting into too much detail, the real account talks about him actually being on that wire for quite some time. So they do convey that within the movie itself as well. And there was a point where I was just like, I'd like to go home now, please. And I was wondering if it was because I wasn't enjoying it, but I think it was just because I was so uncomfortable.
Right.
Clint and I did see the movie in 3D, and I've never ever said this, I think, about one of the movies we've seen, but it's kind of worth seeing in 3D if you're going to see it anyway.
Well, look, I think the sequence of him on the wire is the only reason this movie is worth anything. So going to see it in as big a screen as possible and in 3D the way it was intended, like, is worth the price of admission, I think, because it was legitimately one of the most stressful scenes I've sat through in a long time. I was like this, like the whole time.
Yeah. I still feel unwell.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't sleep last night. Had some weird-ass dreams.
Overall, the first 2/3 of the movie are just very generic and not very well done. But if you are interested in seeing, the denouement, to continue with the bad French accents, I think it is worth checking it out in 3D.
Totally. So, all that to say, sounds like you can show up to the movie, take yourself a nap, wake up about an hour later, get a little bit of context, and then just jump straight into the wire walking scene, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can skip the whole first part of this movie. But honestly, as a big screen thing to sit in front of, that last segment is really genuinely worth it. So, I believe The Walk is in most theaters tonight, maybe tomorrow. Comes out Wednesday
There's
the 30th.
some late night showings.
Yeah. So go check it out. Come back, let us know what you thought about it in the comments down below. If you've already seen it, let us know what you think about it down there as well. And also, are you a fan of the documentary more than you are a fan of the movie? Which one did you like better? Let us know about that. Click like and subscribe, and come back next time for more movie news on CineFix Now.